The story of the mobile phone starts with a man. His name was Martin Cooper. He worked for a company called Motorola. This was back in 1973. In those days, phones were very different. They had cords. They were stuck to walls in houses or offices. You could not carry your phone with you easily. The idea of a truly portable phone was revolutionary. It was something many people only dreamed about. Cooper wanted to turn this dream into a real thing. He believed people should be able to talk anywhere. On April 3rd, 1973, Martin Cooper made history. He stood on a street in New York City. He held a new kind of device in his hand. It was a prototype. It was the world's first portable cellular phone. He decided to make a very special first call. He called his main competitor. This competitor was Joel Engel. Engel worked at Bell Labs, a rival company. Cooper told him he was calling from a real handheld portable cell phone. This call marked the beginning of a new age in communication, a true turning point. The device Cooper used was not small or light, it was quite large. It weighed about 2.4 pounds, or 1.1 kilograms. Its battery life was very short. You could only talk for about 30 minutes, then you had to charge it for 10 hours. This first phone was not meant for ordinary people to buy. It was a proof of concept. It showed that wireless, mobile calling was possible. It was a symbol of freedom, freedom from telephone wires, freedom to communicate on the move. It was a heavy piece of future. That single phone call was more than just a conversation. It was a spark. It ignited a technological revolution that would change the world. It changed how we talk to each other. It changed how we share information. It changed how we conduct business and live our daily lives. The seed for the connected world we know today was planted on that New York street. The journey from that first call to the supercomputers in our pockets today has been long and fascinating. It all started with that one brave, bulky device. After Martin Cooper's groundbreaking call, it took time for mobile phones to reach the public. Companies worked hard to make the technology better. They needed to make it more practical for everyday use. The very first commercial mobile phone finally arrived a decade later. It was launched in 1983. This phone was also made by Motorola. It was called the Motorola Dynatac 8000X. This device would become an icon of the 1980s. It was the first mobile phone people could actually buy and use if they could afford it. The Motorola Dynatac 8000X was famously large and heavy. People often called it the brick because of its shape and size. It weighed around 2 pounds, similar to Cooper's prototype. It was about 13 inches long. Carrying it was like carrying a small dumbbell. The price was also very high. It cost nearly $4,000 in 1983. That is like over $10,000 today. Battery life was still a challenge. You could talk for about an hour, then it needed a long charge. It was a luxury item. So who used these early brick phones? They were not for everyone. The high cost and limited features meant they were mainly used by wealthy individuals. Business executives, stockbrokers, and celebrities were among the first adopters. For them, the mobile phone was a powerful tool. It allowed them to stay connected while away from their desks. It was also a major status symbol. Owning a Dynatac showed you were important. It showed you were at the cutting edge of technology. It was a statement. Beyond the size, weight, and cost, there were other limitations. Network coverage was not widespread like it is today. You could only make calls in certain areas of big cities. Call quality could be patchy. Dropped calls were common. This was the very beginning of cellular networks. Engineers were still figuring things out, but despite these challenges, the demand for mobile communication was clear. People wanted the freedom to call from anywhere. The brick phone, though clunky, paved the way for smaller, better, and cheaper phones to come. The 1990s marked a significant turning point for mobile phones. The technology was rapidly improving. Engineers found ways to make the components smaller. This meant the phones themselves could shrink. They also became much lighter. At the same time, manufacturing processes became more efficient. This helped to bring down the prices. Mobile phones started to move from being luxury items for the rich to tools for more ordinary people. The dream of a phone in every pocket was getting closer to reality. This decade saw an explosion in mobile phone ownership. Several new phone models highlighted this trend towards smaller, more accessible devices. Companies like Nokia and Ericsson became major players in the market. For example, the Nokia 1011, released in 1992, was an important early GSM phone. GSM was a new digital standard. It offered better call quality and security. As the decade progressed, phones like the Nokia 5110 and the Motorola StarTAC became hugely popular. The StarTAC was a very small and light clamshell phone. It was revolutionary for its time. People loved these more compact designs. These new smaller phones offered more than just voice calls. A new feature called Short Message Service, or SMS, began to take off. We know it as text messaging. This allowed people to send short, written messages to each other. It was a completely new way to communicate. It was quick, quiet, and convenient. Young people especially embraced texting. It changed social interactions. Instead of always calling, people could send a quick text. This was a big step in the evolution of mobile communication beyond voice. Phone designs also started to become more diverse and personal. The basic brick shape gave way to new forms. There were candy bar phones, which were straight and simple. There were clamshell or flip phones like the StarTAC, which folded in half. Later, slider phones appeared, where the keypad slid out. Antennas, which used to stick out, started to be built inside the phone. Color options became available. Phones were not just tools anymore, they were becoming fashion accessories. They reflected your personality. The mobile phone was becoming a part of everyday life. As the 1990s ended and the 2000s began, a new idea started to gain traction. People wanted their mobile phones to do more than just make calls and send texts. They wanted them to be more like tiny computers. They imagined devices that could handle email. They wanted phones that could organize their schedules and contacts. This was the beginning of the smartphone era. The concept was simple: make the phone smarter, make it more useful for business and personal productivity. This was a big leap forward. A Canadian company, then called Research in Motion, or RIM, was a true pioneer in this area. They created a line of devices known as BlackBerry. BlackBerry phones were very distinctive. Most of them featured a small screen and a physical QWERTY keyboard. This keyboard was great for typing out emails and messages quickly. Business professionals and government workers quickly fell in love with BlackBerry devices. They became essential tools for staying connected and productive while on the move. BlackBerry became synonymous with mobile email. What made the BlackBerry so smart for its time? One of its killer features was push email. This meant that new emails arrived on the device automatically and instantly. You didn't have to log in and check for new messages. It was like a pager, but much more powerful because you could reply directly. BlackBerry devices also had built-in calendars, address books, and task lists. They could synchronize with a user's computer. This made them incredibly useful for managing a busy work life. They were productivity powerhouses. BlackBerry devices created an incredibly loyal following. Their users were often so attached to them that people coined the term crackberry. It described the addictive nature of always being connected to email and messages. Walking down the street, you would see people constantly scrolling and typing on their BlackBerries. They were a status symbol in the corporate world. If you had a BlackBerry, you were important and always in the loop. This constant connectivity was a precursor to the always-on culture that smartphones would later amplify. Section 5, a new touch, the iPhone changes everything. Then, in 2007, the mobile phone landscape changed forever. Apple, a company known for computers and music players, entered the phone market. On January 9, 2007, Apple's co-founder Steve Jobs stood on a stage. He introduced a device called the iPhone. He famously described it as 3 revolutionary products in one. It was a widescreen iPod with touch controls. It was a revolutionary mobile phone, and it was a breakthrough internet communications device. The world was watching. Few knew how much it would change everything. The iPhone was unlike any phone that had come before it. Its most striking feature was its large touchscreen. There was no physical keyboard. Instead, users typed on a virtual keyboard that appeared on the screen. It used a multi-touch interface. This meant you could use more than one finger to control it. You could pinch to zoom into photos or web pages. You could swipe to scroll through lists. These gestures felt natural and intuitive. It was a completely new way to interact with a mobile device. It was elegant. The software on the iPhone was just as important as the hardware. It ran an operating system called iPhone OS, which later became iOS. It was designed from the ground up for the touch interface. It was simple to use, yet powerful. The iPhone also featured a real web browser, Safari. It could display full web pages, not just the simplified WAP versions that other phones showed. This made browsing the internet on a phone a much richer experience. It felt like using a small computer that fit in your pocket. The launch of the iPhone sent shockwaves through the mobile phone industry. It instantly made most other smartphones look old and clunky. Consumers were captivated by its design and ease of use. It set a new standard for what a mobile phone could be. Other phone manufacturers realized they had to adapt, and quickly. The iPhone didn't just introduce new features, it introduced a new philosophy of mobile computing. The race to create an iPhone killer began, and the modern smartphone revolution was truly underway. It changed the game completely. Section 6, the app explosion and connected lives. Just a year after the first iPhone hit the market, Apple introduced something else that was, well, revolutionary. It was the App Store. This online marketplace allowed third-party developers to create and sell their own applications or apps for the iPhone. It was a brilliant move, really. It opened up the iPhone platform to the creativity of thousands of developers around the world. Suddenly, the possibilities for what a phone could do seemed almost limitless. The App Store transformed the iPhone from a cool device into an incredibly versatile tool. Apps changed everything. Your phone was no longer just for calls, texts, and browsing. It could become a gaming console, a photo editor, a fitness tracker, or even a GPS navigator guiding you through a new city. You could use an app to hail a taxi, book a hotel, or learn a new language. There were apps for social networking, for news, for weather, for banking, and for an endless variety of other tasks and entertainments. The phone became a digital Swiss Army knife for modern life. Alongside the rise of apps, mobile internet connectivity also improved dramatically. We moved from slower 2G networks to faster 3G networks, then came even faster 4G LTE networks. These faster speeds made a huge difference. Downloading apps became quicker, streaming videos and music became smoother, and browsing the web on the go felt much more responsive. This reliable, fast mobile internet meant people could truly be connected all the time, wherever they were. Always-on connectivity became the expected norm, not a luxury. Google also entered the smartphone operating system market with Android. Android was an open-source platform, meaning manufacturers could use it on their phones for free. This led to a wide variety of Android phones at different price points. Android also had its own app store, initially called the Android market, now Google Play. The competition between iOS and Android spurred incredible innovation. It gave consumers more choices in terms of devices, features, and prices. The smartphone ecosystem grew rapidly, driven by apps and connectivity. Moving on to Section 7, Mobile's Grip Transforming Society. Smartphones have become an essential part of modern life for billions of people around the globe. They are much more than just communication devices now. For many, a smartphone is their primary camera for capturing memories. It is their main music player for entertainment, their digital wallet for making payments, and their GPS navigator for finding their way. For a growing number of people, especially in developing countries, their smartphone is their sole or primary way to access the internet. It's a window to the world. The impact of smartphones on our daily lives is immense. We can connect with friends and family instantly, no matter where they are in the world. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter thrive on mobile usage. We can work remotely more easily than ever before. We can learn new skills through online courses accessed on our phones. We have access to a vast ocean of information at our fingertips, anytime and anywhere. This has changed how we learn, how we shop, how we date, and how we pass our time. However, this constant connectivity also brings challenges. There are growing concerns about excessive screen time and its impact on our health and well-being. Smartphone addiction is a real issue for some people. The ease with which information can be shared also means that misinformation and fake news can spread rapidly. Privacy is another major concern. Our phones collect a lot of data about us, and we need to be mindful of how that data is being used by companies and governments. Society is still learning to navigate these powerful tools. The economic impact of the mobile revolution has been staggering. The app economy itself has created millions of new jobs for developers, designers, and marketers. Mobile commerce, or M-commerce, has exploded, with people increasingly shopping on their phones. Entire industries have been disrupted or fundamentally changed by mobile technology. Think about how ride-sharing apps change transportation, how streaming services change media consumption, or how mobile banking apps change personal finance. The smartphone is a powerful engine of economic and social change. Here we are at Section 8, folding the future new forms and speeds. For a long time, most smartphones started to look very similar. They were typically black or grey rectangles with large touchscreens, but innovation in phone design never truly stops. Recently, we've seen exciting new ideas about the physical form of our mobile devices. One of the most talked about developments is the foldable screen. This technology allows a device to have a large, tablet-like screen that can be folded in half to become a more compact, phone-sized device. It's like having two devices in one. Foldable phones aim to give users the best of both worlds. You get a bigger screen for watching videos, playing games, or multitasking with several apps open at once. Then you can fold it up and put it in your pocket more easily. Creating reliable, foldable screens has been a significant engineering challenge. The hinges need to be durable, and the flexible displays need to withstand many folds. Companies like Samsung, Huawei, and Motorola have been at the forefront, releasing innovative foldable devices. They are still expensive, but the technology is improving rapidly. Alongside these new physical forms, we are also getting much faster mobile connections. 5G is the fifth generation of mobile network technology. It represents a major leap forward from 4G. 5G promises significantly faster download and upload speeds. It also offers much lower latency. Latency is the delay between sending a signal and receiving a response. Lower latency is crucial for applications that require real-time interaction like online gaming or remote surgery. 5G is slowly rolling out across the world. What can 5G enable? The faster speeds will mean smoother streaming of ultra-high-definition video. It will enhance augmented reality and virtual reality experiences, making them more immersive and responsive. For the Internet of Things, where many devices are connected to the Internet, 5G will provide more reliable and robust connections. This could support smart cities, connected cars, and advanced industrial automation. 5G is not just about faster phones, it's about building a foundation for the next wave of technological innovation. Finally, we arrive at Section 9, Beyond Tomorrow, the next mobile frontier. So what comes next after foldable phones and the widespread adoption of 5G? Predicting the future of mobile technology is always exciting and a little bit difficult. However, we can see some clear trends emerging. We will likely see an even more seamless integration of technology into our daily lives. Devices might become less visible, perhaps woven into our clothes or appearing as smart glasses. The goal will be to make technology more helpful and less intrusive. The focus will be on effortless interaction. Artificial intelligence is set to play an increasingly central role in our mobile experience. AI is already present in our smartphones. We see it in voice assistants like Siri and Google Assistant. It powers predictive text when we type messages. It helps to enhance the photos we take, but AI will become much more sophisticated. Our phones could become truly intelligent personal assistants. They might anticipate our needs, manage our schedules proactively, and offer personalized insights and advice. This could make our devices feel more like companions. We can also expect continued advancements in core hardware technologies. Battery life is always a key concern for users. We might see breakthroughs that allow for significantly longer-lasting batteries, perhaps new types of batteries or much faster wireless charging, even charging over a distance without a mat. Screen technology will also continue to evolve. We might see brighter, more power-efficient displays, perhaps even flexible screens that can roll or stretch. Some even dream of holographic displays or direct brain-computer interfaces for controlling our devices. Ultimately, the driving force behind mobile evolution remains the same core idea that inspired Martin Cooper. It's about connecting people, it's about providing access to information, it's about making our lives easier, more productive, or more entertaining. The journey from that first brick phone to the powerful smart devices we carry today has been truly incredible. It has reshaped our world in countless ways, and this journey is far from over. The next chapter in the story of mobile technology is still waiting to be written, promising even more amazing changes.